I'm Chad Nelson. I had 14 years of service in the Army before I transferred into the Air Force, Air National Guard. And on May 3rd, 2004, I was injured while on active duty down in Texas to solidify my aircraft maintenance experience. And since then, when I was ordered home to recuperate and such, this case of mine being injured on active duty has been a total train wreck. I've had to go through 3 congressional complaints, rulings from the Secretary of the Air Force, and I get rulings from the Secretary of the Air Force that the wing violated. I'm talking about the 133rd Airlift Wing. They basically dragged my case out to the end of my enlistment, and they just railroaded every regulation that they could. They made them up as they went. The senior command has been promoted, so the state's top Air Guard commander, General Tim Casalter, was the base commander when this all occurred. The first congressional complaint they laughed at. A captain on the base wrote it. The tag signed and dated it as if it came from his own. I filed a second congressional with Mark Dayton, Senator Mark Dayton, who was on the Armed Forces Services Committee. And from there, they sent a package out to the Secretary of the Air Force office, John Truesdale, to get approved. The Secretary of the Air Force approved this ruling, approved this request by Tim Casalter, who was the base commander at the time, and the wing got this ruling and violated it. They disregarded a direct order from the Pentagon. They also sent a package to MIMSO that was full of false statements. My medical record has been tampered with. The base knows this. I put it in writing to commanders. To no avail. Nothing has happened. I reported this to the base commander, Greg Haase, and nothing's happened. The third congressional complaint that I filed was for saying that the wing had violated a ruling from the Secretary of the Air Force, which forced them to put it in writing why they took a direct order from the Pentagon and violated it. That forced them to put it in writing. A few months later, my enlistment came up in January of 2007. On the date of my separation, my forced separation, they ordered the base attorneys not to talk to me. They ordered them to have no contact with me, and they escorted me around the base to be forcefully discharged. At the time of my separation in January of 2007, they were still paying medical bills. In January of 2007, the VA had me rated at 60% disabled. And using the same record that the VA has, the medical squadron contended that there was nothing wrong with me. Not even so much as to put me on a profile, which is a light duty for the military.
So they're not giving you your full benefits?
No, they fought it tooth and nail the whole way.
What exactly was your injury?
Shoulder, elbow, and knee.
How did it happen?
I was hit by a truck
right.
on an Air Force base in Texas. My injuries are not disputed. It's all documented. I had an active LOD, which the wing just shut off without an examination, without a how you doing, without nothing.
What's an LOD?
An LOD is a line of duty. It determines if you're doing the right thing at the right time. And if you're not doing the right thing at the right time, they'll patch you up, they'll fix you up, but you won't get benefits. You won't get ongoing medical and stuff. So,
does Tim Pawlenty know about all this?
It's been reported to Pawlenty twice. Once in November of 2006, I sent correspondence to his top staff assistant, Steve Moore, and I didn't hear anything from him in 2006. Fast forward to 2007. I pleaded with the state's top general, Major General Larry Shelito, to do 2 things: to extend my enlistment, to properly medically board me, and 2, pleaded with him to conduct a full investigation because this has gotten so out of hand with the wing command. He sent me a letter stating that it was all my fault, that it had nothing to do with my LOD or my injuries, and that he condoned everything the wing had done to date and considered my case closed. So when you have Pawlenty saying, refusing to talk to you, you have the state's top general declaring your case closed, you have no other recourse but to go to higher generals. I prepared a package over about a 2-month period to go to Lieutenant General Sams at the Pentagon. He's an IG inspector type at the Pentagon. And by the time before I was able to send it, I got a general discharge in the mail that was not supported by any paperwork. It was illegal, and they had no documentation to even give a general discharge without going through a board of military correction, a board of correction and military records, without having to go back to the base, without even having to lift a finger or raise my voice. I got an honorable discharge certificate in the mail, but my separation documents were never changed. So after 17 years of service, I would present an employer that I'm ineligible to re-enlist, but yet I came to an end of an enlistment as a voluntary enlistment, voluntary separation, but yet they labeled a pattern of disciplinary conduct, which they have no documentation or support for. In November of 2007, I spoke personally with the governor, Tim Pawlenty, and told him he had problems with his command all the way up to Major General Shellito, that this happened on General Casalter's watch, and I told him that the wing had refused to medically board me, that they had ordered the base attorneys not to contact me, not to have anything to do with me, that they couldn't even tell me that they could not talk to me. And he seemed genuinely concerned, and I gave him a whole bunch of documentation in which he wrote my name down, my telephone number, and promised me, eyeball to eyeball, that he would assign me an investigator to get to the bottom of this mess, and it is a royal mess. By the end of the week, I got a letter from him saying that he consulted with the same people that I'm accusing of misconduct, that everything's just fine, and that he was going to look into some things. That's a far cry from promising an investigator to hold these people accountable for what they've done.
And what's your name again?
Chad Nelson.
Chad, and where are you from?
I live in Anoka.
Okay. Can I see the back of your shirt?